CCP running out of money? Shandong to transition 100,000 public sector employees to enterprises. No meetings in Beidaihe? Analysts say the CCP's era of political deals and power sharing is over. Shenzhen electronics market turns into chip smuggling hub. Wall Street Journal: China's manufacturing subsidies surpass those of other nations. Video exposes chaos in China's organ donation system, growing concerns. It's all covered in today's China Truths. CCP running out of money? Shandong to transition 100,000 public sector employees to enterprises. Recently, Shandong province has announced a sweeping reform affecting 100,000 public sector employees. According to a recent joint notice issued by 10 key departments, including the Shandong Provincial Department of Human Resources and Social Security, provincial public institutions will transition their employees into state-owned or private enterprise contract roles. This major shift has sparked widespread concern, with many speculating that the government is running low on funds. Media reports from Jinan highlight that some provincial institutions will become state-owned, non-state-owned, or joint stock enterprises. The notice clearly defines the transformation of personnel-labor relations and the handling of public institutions transitioning to private enterprises. Despite Shandong's reputation as China's leading agricultural province, boasting the highest agricultural export value for 22 consecutive years as of 2022, the region still faces a need to cut administrative expenses. Shandong's GDP reached 9.2 trillion yuan, about $1.28 trillion, in 2023, marking a 6% growth from the previous year, yet financial challenges persist. This move aligns with broader trends across China, where regions have been actively clearing non-staff personnel from government agencies and public institutions. As reported by China News Weekly, last March, Harbin City in Heilongjiang Province initiated a cleanup of non-staff personnel, drawing significant social attention. This special rectification targeted employees, industry-specific personnel, labor staff, and self-hired personnel in municipal-level agencies and public institutions. According to Radio Free Asia, Mr. Tang Yun, a retired professor from Chongqing Normal University, commented on the situation in Shandong, stating, "The government's finances are under immense pressure due to the current economic climate and the bloated system. This move to streamline institutions and reduce staff is now necessary. They are starting with less critical departments like hotels, guest houses, and research institutes, which previously had government financial support but must now face the market independently." Former legal advisor Du Wen, who once served within the Chinese government system, explained that the current reform in Shandong affects 79 units, accounting for about 10% of the total, mostly self-financed public institutions. Mr. Du Wen categorized these 79 units into 4 groups: provincial-owned hotels, restaurants, guest houses, and exhibition venues, provincial-owned research institutes and research institutions, the complete equipment bureaus of Jinan, Qingdao, and Yantai, and investment promotion service departments and information service consulting institutions in Beijing and Shanghai offices. He remarked, "There are approximately 800 public institutions in Shandong." Since 2014, the province has been transitioning its public institutions into enterprises. This year's timing is particularly sensitive, reminiscent of the 1997 state-owned enterprise reform, a time marked by frenzied sell-offs and widespread layoffs. Mr. Du Wen emphasized the importance of asset disposal plans, warning that CCP leaders could exploit this transition to acquire valuable state-owned assets at low prices. He expressed concern for those laid off, noting that many belong to a vulnerable age group of 40 to 50 years old. This reform threatens to leave numerous individuals unemployed, plunging families into severe hardship. No meetings in Beidaihe? Analysts say the CCP's era of political deals and power sharing is over. The CCP Foreign Ministry spokesperson recently announced that the ministry's regular press conferences will be paused from August 5 to August 16, resuming on August 19. On August 3, Kai Chi, a member of the CCP's Politburo Standing Committee and Secretary of the Central Secretariat, made an appearance in Beidaihe to visit scholars and experts on their summer break. According to CCTV, inviting expert representatives to Beidaihe for the summer is an important part of the CCP's institutional approach to talent management. Reports from Tsingtao Daily confirm that the Beidaihe period is now underway. On July 25, the Politburo Standing Committee held a meeting to discuss flood prevention and disaster relief, followed by another meeting on July 30 to plan economic strategies for the second half of the year. As a result, everything that needed to be discussed has been addressed, so there are no meetings in Beidaihe. In recent years, rumors of internal power struggles within the CCP during the Beidaihe meetings have been frequent. So, will there be a Beidaihe meeting this year? Feng Chongyi, a China studies expert at the University of Technology Sydney, describes the Beidaihe meetings as a platform for top CCP officials to express opinions and grievances. However, with Xi Jinping's strong control, these meetings are now more about maintaining appearances rather than decision-making. Key figures like Jiang Zemin have passed away, and others, such as Hu Jintao, are no longer influential. Although elders like Zhu Rongji and Wen Jiabao remain, their influence is minimal. Xi's ongoing anti-corruption campaign ensures dissenters are kept in check. Australian scholar Li Yuanhua explains that the Beidaihe meetings, once a key venue for power sharing and decision-making, are losing their importance under Xi Jinping. Historically, Beidaihe was used for factional negotiations and balancing interests, but Xi's consolidation of power has diminished its role. Factors such as the conclusion of the third plenary session, Xi's health concerns, and the reduced influence of political elders suggest there may be no Beidaihe meeting this year. Xi views himself as the sole leader, restricting negotiations and asserting his dominance. Lai Jianping, a former Beijing lawyer and chairman of the Canadian Democratic Alliance, agrees, noting that Xi prefers small, private meetings with trusted advisors rather than open discussions. This approach allows Xi to maintain control and avoid differing opinions that could challenge his authority. Xi's leadership style emphasizes secrecy and independent decision-making, reducing the need for traditional meetings like Beidaihe. Shenzhen electronics market turns into chip smuggling hub. Amid U.S. export controls targeting China, the Shenzhen electronics market has emerged as a major hub for smuggling AI chips. Despite restrictions, Chinese companies are bypassing barriers through methods such as smuggling, shell companies, and false labeling. Recent reports from the New York Times highlight the scale of this underground trade. Vendors in the Shenzhen market are openly selling NVIDIA AI chips. One vendor assured reporters that they could deliver the chips within 2 weeks, while another revealed that a company had placed an order for 200 to 300 chips in a single transaction. In a more striking example, a vendor recently transported a large shipment of servers from Hong Kong to China, containing over 2,000 of NVIDIA's most advanced chips. He shared communication records with suppliers, indicating that the deal was worth a staggering $103 million. Experts suggest that these chips might be routed through countries like Singapore and Vietnam, where exporting them isn't considered illegal. Chinese companies are also setting up new entities or altering addresses to dodge U.S. export controls. The methods employed to circumvent these restrictions are diverse. For instance, the Wall Street Journal reported last month that a Chinese student in Singapore smuggled 6 NVIDIA AI chips in his suitcase during a visit home. This act went unnoticed at customs, and he received $100 for each chip he successfully transported. Despite the tightening of high-end chip exports by the U.S. at the end of last year, Chinese institutions like Tsinghua University and the Chinese Academy of Sciences continue to acquire a limited supply of NVIDIA's high-end AI chips. This includes the H100 chip, which was released after the U.S. implemented its ban on China. Wall Street Journal: China's manufacturing subsidies surpass those of other nations. Countries worldwide heavily invest in manufacturing to compete in clean energy, semiconductor technology, and other future industries. However, the Chinese government's support for key sectors far surpasses that of the US, the European Union, and other major Asian exporters. According to a Wall Street Journal report on August 5, Chinese subsidies to manufacturing exceed those of the US, EU, and leading Asian economies. Chinese authorities reportedly invest nearly 5% of their national income annually into industry, 6 times more than South Korea, the next highest investor. Researchers note that what sets the Communist Party apart isn't just the scale of support and its broad application across industries. The Kiel Institute found that 99% of Chinese-listed companies disclose receiving some form of subsidies. In addition to direct subsidies, Chinese firms benefit from favorable state-backed financing. This includes low-interest loans from state-owned banks, significant tax incentives, cheap land and materials from state-owned enterprises, and substantial equity financing from government-backed investment funds. Thomas Gatley of Gavkal Dragonomics emphasized that China's commitment to industrial support is unparalleled globally. According to the Center for Strategic and International Studies, China's industrial policy expenditure in 2019 amounted to 17.5 trillion yuan, about $2.44 trillion, double that of South Korea and significantly higher than the US, Japan, and France. Financial disclosures illustrate the magnitude of these subsidies. Companies listed in Shanghai and Shenzhen reported $33 billion in government subsidies in 2023 alone. China's robust support for its industries through subsidies, loans, and tax incentives has positioned its firms competitively in global markets, prompting reactions from international counterparts concerned about fair competition. The European Union has imposed tariffs on Chinese electric vehicle imports, while several countries have initiated anti-dumping investigations against Chinese products like machinery, steel, and ceramics. Video exposes chaos in China's organ donation system, growing concerns. There are increasing signs that the CCP has extended its organ harvesting practices from Falun Gong practitioners to ordinary citizens. Recently, a Chinese citizen posted a video revealing the disarray in the country's organ donation and transplantation system, causing widespread panic. The video reported, someone signed an organ donation agreement, and after registration, even though they are still perfectly healthy, an organization contacted them, asking them to donate their organs. Organ donation essentially demands a person's life. A woman in another video claims that the organ donation and transplantation process in China is increasingly out of control. When a family member recently needed a blood transfusion, the hospital required the family to donate blood first before accessing the blood bank. She argues that organ transplants have become a privilege that strips innocent lives, instilling fear among the public. Everyone is worried about their children. Some people joke about having sprained ankles. Do you dare to go to the hospital for a checkup? You don't dare. Especially some people, they are old people, elderly people between the ages of 16 and 30 have very young and energetic organs. They dare not talk about it or even think about it. Many things are very concerning and have been legislated. At the end of last year, Chinese Premier Li Qiang signed a State Council order for the regulations on human organ donation and transplantation, effective from May 1, which has sparked significant controversy. Zhou Hongyan, a former financial professional in Shenzhen, said she was aware of live organ harvesting practices early on. Zhou said, many homeless people in Shenzhen have disappeared. Where did they go? The most important thing is that a policy introduced in May legalizes organ transplantation. Treating organ transplantation as a business is problematic. I don't object to organ transplantation, but can you disclose the donors? They don't because it's not transparent and not legal. If you report it, won't the truth come out? This year alone, there have been several reported cases of patients' organs being donated after being declared brain dead. In one case, an 8-year-old girl named Huang Zi from Jiangxi was hit by a car and taken to a hospital in Ningbo. After being declared brain dead, her liver, 2 kidneys, and corneas were donated. She was the 405th organ donor in Ningbo City. Another incident involved a 2-year-old child in Ningbo whose liver, 2 kidneys, and corneas were donated after an accidental death. A 14-year-old boy from Hebei, Zhang Zide, experienced sudden cardiac arrest and was declared brain dead, with at least 5 organs donated. In Guangdong's Yangchun City, a 13-year-old boy, who had been bullied at school, was declared brain dead, and at least 7 organs were donated. Zhang Jishuan, a former corporate employee in mainland China, expressed concern about the increasing frequency of brain death diagnoses, which is causing public unease. Zhang said, "The issues behind these phenomena are terrifying. A few years ago, brain death was rarely heard of, but now it's become common with organ donation." In another disturbing incident, Long Xingyu, a master's student at China University of Geosciences in Wuhan, was declared brain dead after a knee injury, leading to his heart, liver, kidneys, and corneas being donated. There are also reports of suspicious incidents, such as a woman who had a mysterious car accident shortly after signing an organ donation agreement. Many netizens are calling organ donation a blatant scam and suggesting that hospitals may be involved in murder for profit. Shou Hongyan stated, "I firmly believe the CCP is involved in live organ harvesting. They claim to be a leading nation in organ transplants, but where do these organs come from? They're not grown or cultivated. With basic medical knowledge, you know organs from deceased people are mostly useless unless from living people. The term brain dead is just a cover for live organ harvesting." In May, the CCP's 14 departments issued a document encouraging citizens to sign voluntary organ donation consent forms. That same month, Shanghai's Fudan University Medical College established a Children's Organ Transplantation Center. The CCP's push for voluntary organ donation on campuses has caused significant concern and anger among many parents. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.